Brown Jr., the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth last fall foreshadowing what would come.
Well, first of all, you got to fire. You got to fire the chairman of the Joint Chiefs. Any general that was involved, general, admiral, whatever that was involved in any of the DEI woke, it's got to go.
Trump selecting retired Air Force Lieutenant General Dan Raisin Kane as the next chairman of the Joint Chiefs. Kane first met Trump in Iraq while a commander helping lead the offensive against the Islamic State. He most recently served as Associate Director for Military Affairs for the CIA. And more shakeups at the Pentagon. The administration dismissing several top officers from the Navy and Air Force, as well as the top lawyers for those branches and the Army. Plus, the Pentagon saying next week approximately 5,400 probationary civilian staffers at the Defense Department will be released.
I think he's done a great job with the executive orders.
The president's rapid remake of the federal government playing out to mixed reviews in congressional town halls around the country. In Nebraska, Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders launching his own, quote, fighting oligarchy tour.
Trump believes he can do anything he wants to do. The law does not apply to him.
Trump today on social media pushing ally Elon Musk and his Doge team to get more aggressive. Musk in turn then announcing on X all federal employees will shortly receive an email requesting to understand what they got done last week, adding, failure to respond will be taken as a resignation. 3 sources tell NBC News those emails are already being received today by federal employees, asking them to send 5 bullet points of what they accomplished last week, but noted employees should not include classified information. The deadline set for Monday at 11:59 p.m.
And Vaughn, we saw what Elon Musk said about failure to reply to that email, but what is the White House saying tonight?
Jose, a spokesperson in the administration tells me it'll be up to each individual agency to determine the next steps for workers who don't reply, stopping just short of calling it automatic resignation. Jose?
Vaughn Hilliard, thank you. And don't miss Meet the Press tomorrow when Kristen Welker interviews Senators Cory Booker and Markwayne Mullin. That's tomorrow morning, right here on NBC. After a week of growing tensions, it appears President Trump may be closing in on a deal to offer security for Ukraine in exchange for some rights to some of the country's most valuable minerals. Yamiche Alcindor has the details.
Tonight, the U.S. and Ukraine are continuing to work on a deal that could give the U.S. valuable rights to Ukrainian rare minerals. President Trump speaking at the conservative conference CPAC this afternoon.
I want them to give us something for all of the money that we put up, and I'm going to try and get the war settled, and I'm going to try and get all that death ended. So we're asking for rare earth and oil, anything we can get.
The U.S. looking for payback for the billions of dollars in aid it's given Ukraine since its war with Russia began 3 years ago. Ukraine hoping to get continued American support as part of a larger effort to end that war. On Friday, President Volodymyr Zelensky posting this video address, saying, quote, this is an agreement that can strengthen our relations, and the key is to work out the details to ensure its effectiveness. Signs of easing tensions after sharp exchanges between President Trump and Zelensky this week. Zelensky rejecting a Trump proposal that would have granted the U.S. 50% ownership of Ukraine's rare earth minerals, including lithium, titanium, and graphite, used to make things like electric car batteries, cell phones, and wind turbines. Days later, President Trump calling Zelensky a dictator and saying Ukraine should have never started the war, though Russia invaded the country in 2022. But now, tensions between the two leaders appear to be slowly thawing out.
I think we're pretty close to a deal, and we better be close to a deal, because that has been a horrible situation.
Yamiche Alcindor is live at the White House tonight. Yamiche, what are officials saying about the separate deal to end the war in Ukraine overall?
Today, the White House press secretary said President Trump is very confident his team can get a deal done this week to end the war, but it's unclear whether that will actually be possible. Jose?
Yamiche Alcindor at the White House. Thank you. And now to the Middle East and today's release of 6 more Israeli hostages who were held in Gaza. That release raising questions about what will happen next with this fragile ceasefire. Ralph Sanchez has the latest.
Tonight, 6 more Israeli hostages released from Hamas captivity in Gaza.
4 of them kidnapped on October 7th and held for more than 500 days. But the other two, Hisham al-Said and Avera Mengistu, spent a decade as prisoners of Hamas. Said, a Bedouin Arab, and Mengistu, a Jew born in Ethiopia, both suffer mental health issues and wandered into Gaza 10 years ago.